Welcome back to Underage Backers. This is Joey. Today I have another draft video on hand for you. I'm pretty excited for this one. We're looking at an interesting topic. 3 possible trade scenarios for the Packers on draft night. We're only going to be involving their 29th overall pick, or at least that's the main basis behind it. Not going to look too much into the second or third round trades because those are really hard to tell which players they have their eye on. Just specifically pick 29, I have 2 teams that might be looking to trade up and 1 team where the Packers might be looking to trade up for their pick in the first round. So let's start off with one of those. We'll sandwich the one where they're looking to trade up in between. One team that is going to look to exchange a second round pick for the Packers' first round pick is going to be the Miami Dolphins. After taking wide receiver Jamar Chase at pick 6, the Dolphins are still looking for that offensive lineman. The end of the first round, there's a lot of teams that are looking to add offensive linemen. The Kansas City Chiefs, for example, they just released both their starting offensive tackles. The Jaguars, the Jets, the Falcons, Jaguars and Jets specifically, what better to do to protect Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson? So the Dolphins trade up for their selection of Landon Dickerson or Samuel Cosmi. Those are 2 players I'd also like to see the Packers draft, but if they see value in that pick 36, where they're still going to be able to get Kadarius Toney for better value, maybe still Asante Samuel if he falls that far, Greg Newsome, Eric Stokes, they'll watch how the board falls. Like I always mention, there is so much that depends on how the board falls. If a player they like goes too early, if a player they like is still on the board and there's a mix of players they feel safe with taking, they'll possibly trade down. So just depending on the situation, I think the Dolphins are possibly a team to look up at pick 36 to trade up with the Packers at pick 29. Sort of as the details, 7 picks ahead isn't too much. However, the one thing gotta consider with a team trading out of the first round or a team trading into the first round is that also important for 5th-year option that is only available for a player that is selected in round 1. So that makes that first-round pick even more valuable, not just having to wait another whole day and staying up till 11 p.m. for nothing. But, I don't think Brian Gutekunst cares about my sleeping pattern that much. Number 2, possibility where the Packers could trade up into the first round. Brian Gutekunst has made a move to move up in the draft every single year he has been the general manager for the Packers this far. Will he continue this streak April 29th? A team that I look as possible, and shout out to my friend Peter Bukowski, who mentioned this on his Twitter feed yesterday, trading up with the Indianapolis Colts at pick 21. I think this works for both teams. As Peter mentions, the Colts, they traded their 3rd-round pick to the Eagles for Carson Wentz, so they're looking for possibly more draft capital. I think they have a great roster at this point. Maybe they're not looking to add too much more, or they don't feel they need a player that is on the board, so they want to trade down, gain some more value, still getting that 5th-year option at pick 29. So the Packers trade up with the Colts to pick 21. This probably takes that first rounder, a 3rd rounder, and maybe a 6th or 7th rounder, but a 1st and a 3rd might be enough to get it done. And the Packers go up there and select Greg Newsome, who they have apparently been a lot in contact with over the past few weeks. Like I mentioned before, who is there on the board? If J.C. Horn somehow makes it past that expected range, they could make a move up for him, and at pick 29, that would be an absolute steal. Same with Greg Newsome. Brian Gutekunst has been in quite a bit of contact with him. The Packers organization has been in quite a bit of contact with this cornerback, so they might have a little draft crush if they like him, trade up from him, and make the move, strengthen that secondary. And finally, we have one that I think a lot of people are going to disagree with, mainly because of the player. But I have the Detroit Lions moving up 12 spots from pick 41 to 29 to select Florida quarterback Kyle Trask. Oh boy, Kyle has been getting a bad rep. He's definitely over this time where we've had the time, or at least Twitter has had the time to take a closer look at prospect. Kyle Trask has not gotten the best of rep. I'd be pretty surprised if he goes in the first round. But then again, you never know how these teams value these players. Twitter might say this player is good, this player is bad, and they don't ever consider that this general manager is smarter than them, and they like to make immediate evaluations, immediate grades on draft night. But I think, if Detroit likes Kyle, obviously he's not going to be ready to start, none the least on day one, if at any point at all. But I think it's a worthy investment for Detroit. You get that fifth-year option, so you pretty much have him locked up for a longer time, and you don't have to move up too terribly much to get him. Maybe a second, a third, and then a fifth and a sixth to pick 29 with your division rival, the Green Bay Packers. Like I said, they have Jared Goff over there. I don't expect them to go out there and have a 12-4 season where Jared Goff is their quarterback they're relying on. Maybe they have Tim Boyle play a few snaps, and then Kyle Trask gets some playing time. But like I said, not too much of an investment here. Pretty low risk for Detroit if it doesn't work out. They have their pretty high overall pick in the first round. But who knows? All I'm thinking with this pick, the rationale behind it is that fifth-year option like the Ravens pulled off at pick 32 with the Eagles a few years ago to get Lamar Jackson. Overall, it's kind of tough to say if I'd predict more of a trade up or of a trade down for the Packers in this year's draft. I think, signs would tell you that trade down would be the best option this year because you don't have as much information about these prospects. However, history would tell you to trade up, or that the Packers will trade up off Brian Gutekunst's pass. So that's all I got for you today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on these three possible trade scenarios. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the Underage Packers YouTube channel, follow us, like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, all that good social media, and I will see you later. As always, go Pack Go.